Carlos King, the architect of reality TV drama, the visionary who created Love and Marriage, Huntsville, and kept audiences glued season after season, has just shocked everyone. This time he isn't hiding behind the cameras. He's front and center because Carlos has officially had legal papers delivered to Kimmy Scott and Maurice Scott. Yes, you heard correctly, they've been served. And this move could rattle the very core of the franchise. Stick with me until the end, because what I'm about to unpack could change the way you view Kimmy, Maurice, Carlos, and every cast member connected to this show from day one. Love and Marriage. Huntsville was sold as a series about successful Black couples building legacies balancing marriage, business, and community service. Carlos King envisioned polished, inspiring pairs who would uplift Huntsville while entertaining viewers. That's how we met the Holts, the Scotts, and all the dynamics that reeled us in. But the real magnet was never just the power moves. It was the messy arguments and unfiltered truths. Martell Holt and Melody Cherie's imploding marriage became headline after headline. Marsau and Letitia Scott stayed surrounded by whispers and speculation. Miss Wanda stirred the pot at every opportunity. Destiny Payton kept flipping sides, while Ariane Curry Martell's longtime mistress was the name no one could ignore. Through it all, Kimmy and Maurice seemed to rise above the chaos. Mature, professional, and even-keeled. They were the calm in the storm. Until now, Carlos King's legal action isn't random. Insiders say this has been brewing quietly for months. Fans have whispered about behind-the-scenes tension, contract disputes, storyline complaints, personal grievances, but up until now, it was all rumor. Legal paperwork changes the game. This isn't speculation anymore. To understand the stakes, you need to understand Carlos. He isn't just a producer. He's a strategist. He knows how to hook an audience, shape narratives, and protect his creations. When someone challenges him or threatens the brand, he doesn't shrug it off. He moves big, and he moves deliberately, which is why these papers feel less like a snap decision and more like the climax of a long simmering conflict with the Scotts. The shock is who he's targeting. Kimmy is known as the peacemaker, the voice of reason. Maurice, a lawyer by profession, has always been careful with his words and image. For this couple to be on the receiving end of legal action is seismic. And Maurice knows exactly how serious a legal notice is. This isn't show drama, it's real, with reputations and careers on the line. Why now? Sources point to a few possible reasons. Breach of contract. Reality TV agreements are strict. If Kimmy or Maurice spoke out about production or revealed details they weren't supposed to, Carlos could see that as a violation. Defamation. Any comments that might hurt. Carlos's reputation could be grounds for action. Production interference, if they resisted filming, disputed their portrayal, or encouraged others to push back, that would cross a line. Money disputes, salaries, bonuses, or promotional deals often spark these battles. But this move isn't just about Kimmy and Maurice, it's a warning to everyone else. It's Carlos declaring, I built this show and I'm in charge. If he's willing to go after the calmest couple, imagine what that signals to Martell Holt with his custody issues, to Melody Cherrie fighting for her independence, to Marsau, who's constantly dodging rumors, or to Destiny Payton, and even Ariane Curry and Miss Wanda. You know, she'll have plenty to say, which will only turn the heat up higher. As for Kimmy and Maurice, they've stayed silent so far. No Instagram rants, no interviews. But silence can be strategy. Any lawyer would advise, say nothing that could be used against you. Fans are split. Some think their quietness makes them look guilty. Others see it as smart. Behind the scenes, insiders claim the couple is consulting attorneys and weighing their next move. And here's where it gets explosive. Whispers suggest they're preparing to strike back, possibly with their own legal action. If that happens, we could see Carlos and the Scotts locked in a courtroom showdown that drags the entire cast into the spotlight. Legal battles change everything. Private contracts can become public. Financial details, emails, text messages, things meant to stay hidden could surface. That could expose new angles for Melody, Martel, Marsau, Destiny, and even Arione. And you can bet Miss Wanda will turn it into fresh drama. At its core, this is a fight for power and control. Carlos is making it clear he's not just a producer. He's the authority. For Kimmy and Morris, it's about survival, fight and risk their place on the show. Stay silent and risk their reputation, or comply and risk looking weak. Every option carries consequences. Insiders insist the Scotts won't stay quiet forever. Whether it's a countersuit, a tell-all, or revelations about Carlos's behind-the-scenes tactics, something is coming. The only question is whether Carlos King's empire can withstand the hit tour, whether this bold move will backfire in ways even he never saw coming. And that, right there, is why this story is only beginning. There's a hush hanging over Huntsville right now, like the tense quiet before a summer storm. Fans keep refreshing their feeds, waiting for the Scotts to break that silence. And you can feel something's brewing. Because if Kimmy and Morris decide to clap back, they won't just release a neat little statement. No, they'll bring receipts. Think about what they've lived and seen behind those cameras. They know the production schedules, the raw edits, the storylines that never made it to air. They know how scenes are stitched together to make someone look like a villain or a hero. If they start talking, they could peel back the curtain on how Love and Marriage Huntsville really operates something Carlos King has worked for years to keep polished and mysterious. And remember, Maurice isn't just any cast member. He's a lawyer. He understands every clause, every loophole, every trick in a contract. If anyone can find a crack in Carlos's legal armor, it's him. Imagine the shockwaves if Morse shows up in court not just as a defendant, but as his own legal counsel, ready to dissect the very paperwork Carlos had served. Meanwhile, the rest of the cast can't exactly stay neutral. Martel Holt is probably watching this like a hawk, because if court filings reveal unedited footage or private messages, his own messy custody battle could get dragged back into the headlines. Melody Charriever's strategic will protect her brand. But she knows any leak could reshape how fans view her side of past conflicts. Marsau and Letitia. Their marriage has already survived years of whispers. And now those whispers might be written in black and white legal documents. Even Destiny Payton and Arione Curry, who thrive on drama, must realize this could turn from entertainment to exposure overnight. And then there's Miss Wanda. If history tells us anything, she won't stay quiet. Expect her to pop up on a live stream, tossing gasoline on the fire with cryptic comments and half-confirmed rumors. Her every word will send blogs and fan pages into a frenzy, and Carlos knows it. Behind the scenes, network executives are nervous. Legal fights cost money, but more importantly, they create uncertainty. Sponsors get skittish. Viewers either double down or walk away. And if Discovery, the legal process of exchanging evidence, explosive material, OWN or any streaming partner will have to decide how much they're willing to protect the shows. Creator versus the cast that keeps ratings alive. This is bigger than a contract dispute now. It's a test of loyalty, reputation, and leverage. Carlos built a hit, but the Scotts helped sell it. Without them, the heart of Huntsville feels different. If this escalates, Carlos may find that keeping control of his empire isn't just about serving papers. It's about whether the audience sides with the visionary or the couple they've trusted for years. So, where does it all go from here? Watch for subtle shifts, first and followed accounts, cryptic posts, sudden scheduling changes. Those tiny digital breadcrumbs will tell you more than any press release. Then, when the first public move comes a